All right, let's take a look at conditional statements. Conditional statements are actually pretty easy. There's two parts to a conditional statement. One is an if statement, and the other one is a then statement. The if statement is always a first symbol. Okay, so it doesn't matter if that if is in the middle of a sentence or at the beginning of a sentence, that's always going to be your first symbol. And then is really the effect. If is the cause, then is the effect. So then this is second in symbols. And what it does is it meets the criteria. So if the if statement is fulfilled, then the then statement moves forward. Okay, so it's second in syllables and it fulfills the if statement. Okay, so let's look at let's talk about an example first. Okay, if I eat my dinner, then I can have dessert. Okay, so the implication here is that there's a condition, eating my dinner. If that condition is met, then I get to the second statement that I can have dessert. So let's say that this statement, I eat my dinner, is a P statement, and I can have dessert is a Q statement. The way we would do that is if P, then Q. So that's how we would read it, and the symbols would be like this. It's just an arrow that shows going from the first statement to the last statement. We will talk about biconditional, which is a double-sided arrow, and it means if and only if. But we'll get there. All right? So there's two parts, an if and a then. The if is always the first symbol, and the second part then is always the second in the symbols, and it fulfills the if statement. Okay, so let's write some statements. Let's see how easily I can write on here. We have P, it is Tuesday, and Q, the ball is red. So I'm just going to do a straightforward if P, then Q. So so that's the first thing I do, if, and then whatever my P statement is. That P statement is it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. If it is Tuesday, then Q. Then the ball is red. If it is Tuesday, then the ball is red. All right, let's take a look at another one. I'm going to do this in a different color just so we can see it easier. Here we have a P that's negated. So instead of if it is Tuesday, it's going to be if it is not Tuesday. So if it is not Tuesday, then the ball is red. And the ball is red. All right, let's take a look at the next one. We have P, then squiggly Q, right? Or the negated Q. So we have if it is Tuesday, then the ball is not red. Of course, we have not as our negation. And notice with each of these, we have if, then, if, then, if, then. If, then. Oh, hang on a second. I circled the wrong thing. Here we go, then. All right, and the last one, we have the negated P, then the negated Q. So if it is not Tuesday, then the ball is not red. Okay, so that's how we translate our symbols into sentences using original statements that we've been given. All right, so let's see what the next thing that we can do with this. And this addresses the issue that sometimes the order can change, but we have to be very careful with what our symbols are. So here we have a statement. It is after 3 p.m. and the male is here. So clearly a P and a Q. I'm going to look at my if-then statements. I'm going to circle them. Uh-oh. On this one, my if is in the middle. And then down here it's if-then. If your if is in the middle, chances are you're not going to have a then statement right before that second remark, because it's awkward in English to say, then the male is here if it is after 3 p.m. It just doesn't sound right. So the word then gets dropped. It doesn't mean it doesn't have the same meaning, but it gets dropped. So if it is after 3 p.m., then the male is here. So it is after 3 p.m. That right here is a P. And then the male is here. That's identical to the Q. So my symbols here are going to be P, then Q. Let's look at this next one. I'm going to change colors. So if it is after 3 p.m., so again, I have the P, and there's no change to that P, then the male is not here, so my Q is negated. So that's going to be squiggly Q. And again, you could put them on these lines. I'm just trying to keep everything in the frame here. All right, the male is here if it is after 3 p.m. Let's look again at underlining the if statement. It is after 3 p.m. It is after 3 p.m. is that P statement. So P, then the beginning, the male is here. So that's straight up Q. So what we find is that sentence A and sentence C both mean the same exact thing. Okay? If it is after 3 p.m., then the male is here, or the male is here if it is after 3 p.m. So these two symbolically are identical. All right, last one. If it is not after 3 p.m., then the male is not here. We're talking about 3 p.m., which is the P statement, but this one's negated. So we have squiggly P, and that leads to then the male is not here. That's another negation. So that's squiggly Q. All right, so we have P, squiggly Q, and we have P arrow Q, we have P arrow squiggly Q, and we have P arrow Q. Okay, so check yourself, and if you have any questions, let me know. Here we have given statements. London is the capital of England, and Dobermans are black and tan. I'm going to warn you, this is the weirdest if-then statement because the color of a dog has no correlation with the capital of a city. So we want to write the two ways in which the expression if P then Q can be written in words. Well, we know the first one, right? London. So if, make this bigger, if London is the capital of England, then, let's see here, then Dobermans are black and tan. So that's one way. The other way is putting that if statement in the middle, right? So we would take our then statement and put it at the beginning. So that would be the part 2 here. And again, pause and see if you can figure this out before we write this in here. And then when you want to check your answer, go ahead and unpause. So in this case, I would say Dobermans are black and tan if London is the capital of England. Now remember, this does not have to make sense on this one. I'm just giving you 2 examples of how we can write if P, then Q, two different ways. So both of these say the same thing, it's just they're in different order. All right, so that is the notes for video 5. And what you'll find is that there is an assignment called Logic 4 that you're going to complete that will help you practice this.